tell y'all something about Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, goddammit. But let me tell you something about Juneteenth. Juneteenth is not about the freedom or the liberation of indentured servants, or what we call slaves. If you believe that shit, then you believe the Civil War was about slavery. We all know that the Civil War was about the preservation of the Union. June 19th is the day that federal soldiers stepped foot in Texas to announce that slavery was no longer a thing. Now let me tell you something. I don't believe not one bit that the motherfuckers didn't get word that slavery wasn't a thing yet. I don't believe that people in Texas, slave owners in Texas, hadn't got wind that Abe Lincoln had announced the Emancipation Proclamation and that slavery was no longer going to be a thing. Them motherfuckers just didn't care about this shit. You gotta understand, first of all, Texas, we always been one of those independent states. You feel me? Even to this day, it's like that. You feel me? We kind of like a third-party state here in the country, fool. Texas was its own country at one time. You feel me? It's that fucking big. You feel me? So Texas really always been a rebel type state. So when we talking about rebellion, that's what the whole Confederate, that was the whole thing with the Confederacy, fool. But I'm gonna get off into that. Talking about Texas, June 19th was the day that Union soldiers stepped foot into the state and said, okay, y'all can't have slaves no more. Y'all gotta chill out with this shit. Now, like I said, you can't tell me that them motherfuckers didn't know. They just didn't care. And they was on some shit like, okay, if they want to make us give our slaves up, they gonna have to make us. Now, the rest of the Union states, the rest of the Confederate states probably said, okay, bet, y'all got us. But Texas probably wasn't having that shit. That's really how I feel. You know what I'm saying? That was on some shit like, okay, nah, nigga, if they wanna come do that, then they gonna have to come make us. And hell, that's what happened. So that's why June 19th is a major celebrated day, because that was the official conquering of the Confederate States. Texas was looked at as the big fish. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, we can get them in coordinates, you know what I'm saying? Well, to cooperate, then hell, we won. We got them. Because that's like the last straw. You know what I'm saying? We was, like I say, Texas was like the big kahuna. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, shit, after that was like, okay, like I say, that was the final stand. It was like, okay, we got them. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I say, so understand that June 19th ain't got a damn thing to do with no liberation of no slaves. It's to understand that the Civil War ain't have a damn thing to do with the liberation of no slaves. The Civil War is about, like I say, preservation and preserving the Union. Now, talking about that, when we talking about the Confederate States, right? When we talking about that Confederate flag and that rebel flag, you gotta understand. The whole thing with slavery, bro, they would call, it's crazy because I sit here and think, I'm like, damn, the country was really at war at one time, bro. You gotta think, half the country was really divided, fool. The country was really divided, and the motherfuckers really went to war, bro. The southern states gathered up and said, hey, fuck that. They formed their own army and all that shit. They was really trying to secede from the Union. And you gotta understand. Check this out. Like I say, when we talking about that Confederate flag, bro, and we talking about that rebel flag, fool, that's exactly what that is. It's a rebel flag. It's about rebellion. It's about not being in coordinates with, accordance with what, you know what I'm saying, the country got going on. Because it was like, it wasn't really so much of a thing about just having slaves, bro. You gotta understand, that just falls under the umbrella of, you know what I'm saying, being able to do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying, having your own personal freedom. And even though, you know what I'm saying, those, you know what I'm saying, peoples who were enslaved didn't have their freedom, but, you know what I'm saying, slave owners did, because they could do what they want to do. You gotta understand, they was eating off of their own, I can't even say off their own work, because it was the work that the slaves was doing, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand, it's like, bro, here in the South, this is where all the crops grow, fool. People was growing their own food. They was growing their own, you know what I'm saying? They was growing cotton, you know what I'm saying? Sewing their own, they had slaves sewing their own clothes, growing their own food, preparing their own food. You didn't need the North for nothing, bro. They needed us, and I'm gonna say us because it was the slaves too. You know what I'm saying? Because the slaves is the ones who was doing this shit. But for the most part, fool, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what that was, bro. It was the Union who needed the South, bro. The South didn't need the Union. I don't really believe it. I don't think the South needed the Union for shit. That was the whole thing. That's why I was like, okay, that's why they went to war for real. We keeping it 1,000, bro, because the southern states was on some shit like, bro, we don't give a fuck about y'all, nigga. We don't give a fuck about y'all Texas and none of this shit, nigga. We don't need y'all. It was the Union who needed the South, bro. It was the northern states who needed the South, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what that was about. If we keeping it 1,000, bro. And I'm saying, nah, this is like, nigga, we want to sit here and talk about the Juneteenth, my nigga, as if that's like the liberal, like, you know what I'm saying, as if that's the, like I say, celebrating the liberation of enslaved people. No, my nigga, that was like celebrated on behalf of the United States, as it was because, nigga, that was the, like I say, that was like the final straw. That was the last stand in conquering the Confederacy, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what that was about. That was a victory for them, bro. Because it was like I say, okay, if we got Texas, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, they was the that's the biggest state down here, fool. So it was like they was the ones that they had to worry about the most. Like I say, and I feel like they was on some rebellious shit to the point it was like, okay, you know. So yeah. That was like I say, that was the last straw, and you know what I'm saying, the victory of the Union over the Confederate States, bro. So yeah, I just wanted to put that on y'all, bro. I ain't thinking it's like, if we keep it in 1,000, fool, nigga, this country ain't never gave a fuck about no freedom of no people. Shit wasn't about no motherfucking the freedom of indentured servants, nigga. They still got that shit going on in the prisons. You know what I'm saying? It's about them motherfuckers having control over you. That's what they celebrate. Nigga. That's what they celebrate. They still got people that's enslaved in the prison systems. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. The Union would have loved to have slaves, nigga. But they did. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it was on some shit where it was like, okay, if we gonna get rid of it there, we gotta get rid of it everywhere. You feel me? So, yeah, nigga. I just wanted to let it be known that's what that was about. The motherfuckers don't give a fuck about your freedom. I ain't saying that to step on no toes, but you know, I'm just saying, bro, that was just something I was contemplating, something that I wanted to put on y'all mind. So I want y'all to keep that in mind while y'all out here celebrating Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, power to the people, freedom to all. Let's get it.